We've now done the 2 setup rows for our Italian tubular cast on. To do the Italian tubular cast on, you're going to cut this string of yarn so it is 3 times the width of your work. That way you know you have enough to do the cast on. I always kind of go just a little bit farther just to feel safe, but set that part aside. Then we're going to thread our needle. I like to use this little thing, makes it a little easier. Pull it through. And I really like these bent needles because it goes through the stitches a lot easier. The first thing that we're going to do is on our first stitch, we're going to put a stitch marker on the first stitch knitwise, and we're going to flip it on the inside and put a stitch marker on the second stitch on the back side. We do that so that when we get to the end of the row, we can easily pick up those 2 stitches again. We are not going to be using the needles anymore. We're going to be using the tapestry needle. So you can do whatever's easier for you. Me, it's usually easier to make it a little more flat. So for the first 2 stitches, we're going to actually leave those on the needles. They're going to have a little bit different repeat than everything else. So the first stitch, we're going to purl the stitch and leave it on the needle. Then we're going to go in between those stitches and we're going to knit this stitch. Now we start the repeat. We knit off and go to the second stitch over and purl. Then we're going to purl off, go back in between those stitches, pull the needle through and knit that stitch. Those 4 steps we're just going to repeat over and over again. So we do knit off, purl on. Purl off, knit on. And always kind of give it a little tug so that way it doesn't have any loose strands there. Knit off, purl on, purl off, knit on. We're going to do that for all the stitches. You just work your way around the pattern. I'm going to continue this and I will meet you when we get back to the end here. We're down to the last few stitches. We're going to do that knit off, purl on, purl off, knit on. Now we have 2 stitches remaining. I'm going to knit off and go under into that stitch that we had already taken off and do the purl on and purl off and come back here and lift this stitch up and knit on. And I've completed my Italian tubular cast on. I can remove these stitch markers, weave in my ends and trim up my yarn a little bit, and we've got this beautiful rounded edge that's nice and stretchy and holds the pattern perfectly.